All right, welcome, and thank you for attending today's class, Secrets of Librarians, How to Find the Best Information in a Digital World. My name is Anne Marie Flora. I am a librarian at Seminole Community Library in Seminole, Florida, and I have been a librarian for over 10 years now. I use the internet every single day to find questions or to find answers to questions that I didn't even know to ask. My patrons always have the most interesting questions, and I'm always here for that to answer anything that you can't find on your own. So today in this class, you'll learn alternatives to Google. So I'm going to give you some things that you may not know, that Google isn't the only search engine out there. And then you'll learn some search tips and tricks, my little bag of tricks that I use every day to make my searches faster and easier. And you'll learn how to spot advertisements in your search results so that you don't click on an ad instead of an actual search result. And you'll learn how to judge the trustworthiness of a website. I'm going to show you a fun trick for that. So I'm going to start with some vocabulary. Here are a list of words that I will mention frequently throughout this class today. And don't worry if you don't understand right away. I will be showing many examples of what I mean. So vocabulary words are a search query. A search query is what you actually type into a search engine. A search engine is a computer program, like Google is just a big computer program that tries to match your search query with a page on the internet. A search result is what a search engine shows you after you enter a search query. A web page is a single location on the internet. A website is a group of web pages. And a website address is the location of a web page on the internet. It usually starts with www. And contains .com, .org, .edu, .gov, and there are a bunch of others right there. And these days there's .me, .biz, .info. And so just like with a house address, the mailman needs your address to know where to deliver the mail. A computer needs the website address so it knows where to go on the internet to find it. So you can type in www.google.com into the address bar, and that will take you directly to Google. There's something else known, website address is known by another term, maybe you know it. There's another word for a website address. Its official name is a URL. So you'll hear URL, and it's a specific location on the internet. And then finally, an algorithm is the process that search engines use to match your search query to a web page. Algorithms are what makes search engines possible. And of course, algorithms aren't just in search engines. They have a huge variety of things that they do on the internet. So algorithms are so important. They do a lot of interesting things. So real quick, I want to give some alternatives to Google. There's Bing. Its website address is www.bing.com, and it's owned and operated by Microsoft. There's also DuckDuckGo, and their website address is www.duckduckgo.com. And they do not use your search queries for targeted advertisements. So that's a big plus for using DuckDuckGo. And then there's one more. There's one major one is Baidu. Baidu's website address is www.baidu.com, but it's only available in Chinese, but it is the world's second most popular search engine next to Google. So Baidu is a powerhouse company that rivals Google, so I think you should be aware that it exists, even if you don't read Chinese. So real quick, can you think of any other search engines out there? I hear a lot like Yahoo, AOL. All Yahoo and AOL are run by Google these days. So most of them are run by that. Opera is a browser. So it browses the entire internet. It does have a search function embedded into it. And I don't know which service that is, what company runs it, but a good one to bring up, that Opera is a browser, a web browser. All right. So, but I will continue to use Google because Google is king. It's undeniably the best English-based search engine in the world. However, it does collect and monetize a lot of personal information from its users. It's anonymous information. Nobody's actually looking at this, but then other companies like Amazon will use it and Facebook will use it to target advertisements to you. If that bothers you, then I recommend using DuckDuckGo, which at least claims not to store or share information about you. But I continue to use Google because it has the best algorithms, which produce the best search results, and just the way the search results are laid out. Google has been in the game the longest, and they're the best. So the rest of the information in this class uses Google as the search engine, but these tips and tricks are usable in other search engines. All right, so now I'm going to come back to this in a second, but now let's just go ahead and do a search. So here I have gone to Google, and I just go up here. This is the address bar right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type my address, my website address, into this search bar. So I'll just click it once and it highlights everything, and then I'm ready to type. So I'll just type in www.google.com, and that brings me right to Google. So in this search bar, today I wanted to search for Beatles songs. So I'm just going to put in my search query as Beatles songs. And you'll see my query shows up here, right here. And now we have a lot to look at in this, in these search results. So I'll just scroll through it for a moment, and then I'm going to scroll back up. And I'm going to take a sip of water. So is anybody else getting Beatles songs playing in their head right now? I am. So here you should pay attention to these headings. So these headings will be above a block of search results. And if you clicked here on Here Comes the Sun, it would just do a search for this query. Here Comes the Sun, Abbey Road, 1969. So if I clicked on it, it would show more specific information for Here Comes the Sun, more specified for a search result. And if you scroll down here, here's some other questions people ask about the Beatles. And you can click here, or you can click on the heading to see some other things. Take this with a grain of salt, because all of these are very subjective questions. So here's another heading, so videos. So you know everything under this is videos. And then over here on the right, you have this is called an info. Oh, what is it? And it's just a bunch of information about them, their official website, where you can find it, and then a quick summary of what the Beatles are, and with a link to the Wikipedia page. But what I want to focus on here is this actual search result. This is an actual search result, a web page that Google brought up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can actually just look at this only. So what I'm looking at is right here. All right, so the first thing that you'll notice is the Beatles songs complete A to Z list. That's the web page title. And then you have the website. The website is tacked onto the end. So the website is the Beatles Bible, and this is a page on the website. Then it'll give you a description of the web page, and down here are other pages on that website that you might be interested in. So they just put it in there. Now, the most important part of this search result is the website address. So you want to look here and see where it is that you're going first. It's always look at the website address first before you click on the link. And then this is a kind of a new feature. These 3 dots here next to the search result, if you click that, it will show you where this website, it says that it's a secure connection. It gives you the actual URL that you're going to, the actual exact web page. And it says that this search result, not an ad. So you have some information about this result. So this can be very handy to find out what this web page is, what this website is before you go there. It tells you, oh, Google indexed this more than 10 years ago, so this site has been around for a while. Okay, so I'm going to unzoom my screen. So that is a typical page of search results. So I also wanted to show you how to spot ads in your search results. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint presentation here. And all right, so if you needed to renew your passport and you weren't sure how, you would do a search for renew passport. So when you do that, you'll get this page of results. So our search query is up here on renew passport. And can you tell me the difference between these search results and these search results? What's the difference? These, okay. So these are ads. These search results are ads. Yep, perfect. So you got it, exactly. And you can tell because there's this little ad symbol. Now, over time, these symbols will change. They will look a little different, but these ads, these websites pay Google to be at the top of your search results. So if you notice here, it's the website address is rushmypassport.com. And so a good librarian will know that to renew your passport, it's travel.state.gov. So I know I see this and I know that it's not the right website. You know, hey, if you want to use this service, good on you, but it's not the official passport service. Okay, so now to the meat of this class is how to write useful search queries. So this will help you get accurate information quickly. So first, I know this seems like silly advice, but it's actually important to think about what you want to find. You may have this whim and you just type it into Google and then you don't see what you're looking for. And that's because maybe you weren't sure what you wanted to find, what was the goal. And then the second is use words that would be in a website about what you want to find. These words are sometimes called keywords. When people write text for web pages, they are usually very careful to use words that they think you will search for. For example, if you hurt your arm and you aren't sure if you need to go to the hospital, don't write a search query like, do I have a busted arm? Because that's not going to bring up that's not likely to bring up an informative web page. Instead, you would want to say, how do I tell if I have a broken arm? It will give you much better results. So I have an activity for you. I'm going to give you a short scenario and you tell me what words you'd use to search for it. So here's the scenario. You're talking to a friend who just came back from a trip to France. The friend describes a meal he had there, a delicious sandwich that had tuna, peppers, and anchovies on it. He can't remember the name exactly, something like pomme mignon, and now it's driving him crazy. So what words would you use to search for this food? I'll just give you a second to think about it. So here's what I focused on. All right. I think that's perfect. So what I focused on was a sandwich that had tuna, peppers, and anchovies. It's a pretty unique combination. And I knew he was in France, so it's probably a French food. So I would go to Google and I would write French sandwich, tuna, peppers, anchovies. And here are my search results. So I zoomed in on this one, pan bagnat. I cannot speak French at all. But look, I'm reading the description. It seems fancy. French tuna sandwich couldn't be easier. Tuna, anchovies, olives, and then it says peppers, sweet peppers and red peppers. I think that's the one. So I think that's it. So we'll zoom in now. If we zoomed in on this search result, and if you clicked on the title, if you clicked on the web page, if you click on picture, any one of those will take you to the web page. I think it's pronounced Panbanya. Anyway, I don't know. I can't speak French. So back to how to write useful search queries. Be aware of the word order that you use. For example, if you search sky blue or blue sky, you'll get 2 different search results. And now my best one I say for last, you use search operators to limit your search results. So search operators, what are they? These are 3 that I use every day. There's cite colon, there's quotation marks, and the minus sign. So the first one is site colon. And can anyone guess what site is short for? It is short for website. So website, so you put site colon and it limits to a specific website. And I'll show you what I mean. So I want to search for that pan bagnat sandwich on foodnetwork.com. So I went to foodnetwork.com and I put it into their search bar and no results. I thought that can't be. It's a really popular French sandwich. They've got to have something. So I thought, you know what, I bet you Google could help me with this. So I went in and I put in my search query. And then I also put in site colon foodnetwork.com. And then I clicked enter, and this were my search results. And I spelled it wrong. I spelled it incorrectly. So I can't speak French, but I can't spell French either. But you'll notice that those algorithms, that's one of the things that algorithms do is they check spelling. And you'll notice that all of these search results are only from foodnetwork.com. So that's what I mean when Google can do it better than your regular search engine. So if you want to search a specific site, it's 9 times out of 10, it's best just go to Google, do site colon the website, and then put it in your search result or your search query, because it just works better. The next search operator is quotes. So you are trying to remember the first line of an old song. You remember the first line of an old song that goes, "When Venus, the goddess of beauty and love." And you're absolutely positive that's the correct line, but you can't remember the rest of the song. So you go to Google, you type "When Venus, the goddess of beauty and love," and you hit enter. And all these search results come up. And just take a look at them real quick. Now, do any of these search results match the search query? And the answer is no. None of these are songs, because all Google knows to search for is Venus, goddess, beauty, and love. And there is a ton of information out there about Greek and Roman gods. So to limit it, I'll do it again, but this time I'm going to put quotes around. Now this will tell Google to only look for these words in this exact order. And when you do that, there it is. The very first search result is these song lyrics, and it found it fast. So quotes tell Google to search for a specific phrase where all the words are in this exact same order as specified. Okay, so the next one is the minus sign. It can call it a hyphen or a dash, but when we talk about web searches, we call a symbol the minus sign because it takes word out of a search. Here's an example. So there was this, I just finished watching the HBO miniseries Chernobyl, and I wanted to learn more. So I searched for Chernobyl, and that's fine. But my first search result was an ad for the HBO series Chernobyl, and I didn't want that. So I did it again, only this time I put minus HBO and hit enter. And now none of the search results will mention HBO. So if the page had HBO anywhere in it, Google just filtered it out and does not show it to me. So one of the first results is a video, Chernobyl, what it's like today. And it's from 2015, well before the miniseries, but still pretty not too long ago, and that's kind of what I was looking for. So I also use -sign for when I'm searching for crossword solutions. So when you search a crossword clue, it usually gives you like this whole page of ads for crossword services, and that's not what I want. So I just put in the crossword clue, and then I put -sign crossword, and then that takes out everything that mentions crosswords. And so it can be really useful sometimes. So how to get accurate search results. We all want to be right, and the internet has a lot of correct information, but it also has a lot of incorrect or disputed information. So here are some strategies that will help you get more accurate information. A web search is only as good as your query. So don't search for what you think is the answer. For example, typing average lifespan of a cat is 12 years. This tells Google to look for a web page that confirms this statement. A better search query is, what is the average lifespan of a cat? That's not making any assumptions. That's just, and then it will look for a web page that's actually answering your question, which, what is the average lifespan of a cat? You don't want to say it's 12 years, then it will just find websites that confirm average lifespan of a cat is 12 years, whether or not that's true. And there's another thing, like if you want to know if swimming is a low impact exercise, and don't type, is swimming a low impact exercise? Type, what are some low impact exercises, and see if swimming is on the list. And my other is do one more search. Find one more web page that confirms your information, and not just that it's parroted from your original source, but that there's new information in there. And then use the CRAP test to evaluate information. That's currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. These are all things that you should think about when you're deciding whether or not the information you're looking at is correct. So some notes about web addresses. Anyone can buy a website address and put pretty much any information they want on it. There's no law against telling lies or telling misinformation for whatever reason. So keep that in mind. The exception is .gov and .edu web addresses. Those at least have to be given permission and be registered by the US government. But still, of course, they can put information on it, but these are regulated a little bit more. So .gov and .edu information on these websites tends to be more trustworthy than on the .org or .com. So when in doubt, visit the About page of a website to learn more information about its ownership, contributors, and purpose. And usually you'll find the About page. So I'm going to mayoclinic.com or .org. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, somewhere in here you will find About. So I found About this site, and you can see all of their information, their policies. You can, on this site, they have their medical editors and everything. So look for that About page on a website, and then you can decide whether or not you want to trust it. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for attending or for viewing the video. Really appreciate it. And this has been a presentation from Seminole Community Library. My name is Anne Marie Flora. Thank you so much.